good of you to arrive. Come now, do hurry. This little sprite here is in quite a bind, you see. Well met, dear madame. Regale our viewers with your plight. A disastrous downpour! What tragedy! Dear me, even your closest friends now mortal enemies. We shall assist you, young sprite. Now, let us hurry, onward, to adventure! The winds of fate are now blowing. Welcome to the versus computer mode, where you're pitted against a computer opponent to see if you can outlast them in puzzle combat. The rules are really simple. Make combos and chains to create garbage blocks to send to your opponent. Make sure their stack is the one that reaches the top before yours does. Any technicals, I'll leave up to annotations to cover them. That being said, we're playing on the hardest difficulty setting, also known as Super Hard. Our first opponent here is Windy, the Fairy of Wind. Windy has a knack for causing mischief with the wind, but that doesn't stop her from being pals with anything avian. Regardless of any misgivings or trouble she may cause to the others, she's still on good terms with all the other fairies. In the GameCube version, she has a daughter named Sophia. Super Hard mode in this game is a bit different than other hard modes in some other entries. Namely, the speed in which your stack rises. While some other games in the series, like Pokemon Puzzle League, have had the stack rise at the same speed regardless of difficulty, Super Hard mode in this game and Tetris Attack has the stack rise considerably faster than in other games. Normally, you wouldn't have to worry about the speed of your stack rising until, say, about 3 minutes have passed. Then the speed starts getting pretty noticeable. Whereas here, on Versus Computer Super Hard, once 3 minutes have passed, the speed in which the blocks rise is very fast, to the point where neither you nor the computer can keep up with it. Ideally, this would be the perfect opportunity to strike with combos and chains. I'm actually quite out of practice with this game, so a lot of the matches you see here tend to be won only because the computer has trouble keeping up. Thankfully, and mercifully, the speed at which blocks appear does not increase with difficulty in Versus mode. However, the speed at which blocks fall down does. This makes stringing together chains all the more difficult, yet at the same time, all the more important. Something also added into Versus mode that the single-player mode does not have is a Mercy Second. Essentially, when your stack reaches the top of the playing field, this will give you a very small window of opportunity to clear some last-minute blocks. But to be given any extra time, you have to create combos and chains. If you're just clearing blocks, then the game won't show you any sympathy. You'll just lose right there. Unfortunately, our friend Windy is about to learn that the hard way. Despite any difficulty increase, Windy will always be, pardon the pun, a breeze to deal with. It would seem that while our fairy heroine is doing battle, trouble seems to be afoot elsewhere. Good morrow to you, my reptilian friend. The winds of fate seem to have blown the torrent into another direction. What good fortune! Lead the way then, young Yoshi. We shall rise through any challenge that comes to greet us. Replacing Windy as the first opponent, we instead have Lakitu and the Goonies. Lakitu is an airborne member of the Koopa Troop, hiding in a cloud that's all smiles every day. And anytime he wishes, he can just casually lob a spiny egg into any unsuspecting foe. These spiky-tipped eggs are dangerous projectiles that, when they land, hatch into Spinies, a little red member of the Koopa clan able to stop jumps cold, all the while Lakitu is simply floating in the sky with a content look on his face. What an asshole. Not all Lakitus are evil, mind you. Some of them prefer to be a part of a baseball game, while others simply want to take a turn with the camera. Goonies are simple seagulls that happen to be native to Yoshi's Island. While they're most known to sail the skies, some wingless breeds dart along the ground. Some can get overweight, and some can just be plain undead. These jokesters get to chill in the sky for now, but by the end of the day, Yoshi has to brush along past them and move on like the wind. It's a shame when you're the first enemy in a game. No breaks and no respect. While playing, you'll notice that Tetris Attack has one thing Panel Dupont does not. A victory fanfare! There's also a defeat fanfare, but it looks like Lakitu will be hearing that one for now. Yoshi is now on the move, but Lip has successfully restored her first friend. A wonderful start to the journey, but lo, this is only the beginning. Now is not the time to get cold feet. Lip's second opponent is Sherbet, the Fairy of Ice. At first glance she can be seen as rather dark and cold-hearted, but looks can be deceiving, where in fact she's just very calm. Like Windy, she is also quite a prankster, but deep down she's just a sweet little misunderstood kid. In the GameCube version, her daughter is Think. AI in the Panel Dupont games has always been more of a progressive sort, getting better the higher you climb the game ladder. Even on Super Hard, this is no different. The opponents you face will just continually get better as you advance along the story. However, the AI in Tetris Attack is a bit different than the one in Panel Dupont. Namely, the AI is much more difficult in the higher difficulty settings. While they'll seem the same now in the opening matches, come the later matches you'll find out very fast that Tetris Attack's AI is much more aggressive. That isn't to say that this game's AI on Super Hard is no pushover. Believe me, it's not. It's just that one game happens to be a little more aggressive than the other. Of course, in regards to other games in the series, the AI in higher difficulties is way more aggressive than both of these games combined. Especially present in Planet Puzzle League, where the AI is simply godlike. But I'm getting a little off track. At the very least, the AI in this game is resilient. Well, resilient enough for an above-average player like myself. Sorry, Sherbet, but I'm not in the mood for anything frosty right about now. Why don't you just sit down and chill out for a little bit, huh? Fear no longer, Lakitu and Goonie, for Yoshi has saved both of you. However, this rain will not clear itself. Make haste to the next battlefield. Debunking Sherbet as the defenders of Stage 2 are Bumpty and Dr. Freezegood. Bumpties are rather chill penguins that love slip-sliding around on ice. They possess rather rubbery bodies, as they throw their own weight around to repel any oncoming attackers. Or just for the hell of it. Some Bumpties have attempted to fly on their own merits, but it's rather comically embarrassing just to witness it. Bumpties just might be related to the Langun race seen in Paper Mario. They look quite similar. Then we have Dr. Freezegood, who has a PhD in skiing around. Sometimes they take the ski lifts, but more often than not, they're seen just causing massive trouble for the Yoshis. By now you've probably noticed that the standard garbage blocks don't look the same between the two games. Whereas in Panel Dupont, every character has their own unique design for their garbage block. Tetris Attack simply employs the same design for every character, just recolored to differentiate between Player 1 and Player 2. Don't know why the devs decided to do this. Maybe they were running out of space in the game with their additions, so they decided to just trim the fat? Or maybe they just couldn't be bothered to come up with several different designs for every character with their garbage blocks. Personally, I bet my money on the latter theory. Of course, they still have those steel bar garbage blocks, but they're sort of an extra thing. Ouch, speaking of, looks like Bumpty's about to feel the wrath of the steel blocks. Too bad, Bumpty. Maybe this is why you were excluded from the Game Boy version. Ah! Good tidings! Sherbet is now free. Small steps to achieve great progress. Keep your wits about you, however. This is still no picnic in the forest. If you hold down the X and Y buttons before a match starts, you can select a character other than Lip or Yoshi to have them battle for him. I don't want to get lost in some damn forest. Lip's third opponent is Theana, the Fairy of Nature. Theana is an avid lover of anything nature. Bugs, plants, birds, fruit, you name it. She's all over the map when it comes to nature, and she'll do whatever it takes to protect it. Friggin' hippie. In the GameCube version, she has a daughter named Rinze. I made note of the steel layered garbage blocks in the last match. You certainly noticed them by now, too. These are made by clearing 3 gray exclamation mark blocks. Obviously they only appear in this mode. They never appear during an initial stack, and will only uncommonly appear after the fact. However, due to the fact that they're a different type of garbage block compared to your standard one, they're pretty effective at disrupting your foe from clearing garbage blocks.
Wicked sick.
Oh jeez, Theana's serious. What, did Lip step on a plant or something? Maybe she's angry over that flower rod of hers. No one is ever allowed to interact with nature except for me, Theana! Ha 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 ha! Lip may be the fairy of flowers, but it's not like the spell gives a damn. Anywho, back on the subject of the gray blocks. They're great to disrupt your foe from clearing layers upon layers of garbage blocks. But you'd be surprised how effective it could be if you could manage to string together a 4 or 5 combo with just those blocks. On top of the garbage block produced from the 4 or 5 combo, another steel block is added for every gray block added into the combo. Say you somehow manage to scrounge up a 7 combo with those blocks alone. That alone is a rather uncommon feat, by the way. Aside from the 1 layer garbage block you generate from making a 7 combo, you add 4 more of those steel garbage blocks on top of that. Sure, since they're all single layer blocks, they're easily cleared. That adds quite a bit to the stack right there and then. It can also be used in chains, but they're not as effective in chains as they are in combos, since usually you only get the 1 single layer steel block out of it. But at least you get that on top of the garbage block you generate from making a good chain, so it's better than nothing. Go be a tree hugger some other time, Theana. We have a world to save. While Lip does battle with nature, Yoshi has freed his penguin pal. I say, good effort, but this is no time to be walking the dog. Theana stepped out for a nature walk, so replacing her as Stage 3's opponents are Poochie and Grinder. Poochie is Yoshi's well-to-do, cute canine companion. I love alliteration. He possesses a heart as strong as his body. Whenever Yoshi rides him, Poochie is able to mow down the toughest opponents, like those super annoying tap-taps, and is able to traverse through spikes and even lava. Talk about one powerful pup. Poochie is undeniably strong, but does have some control issues. Sometimes something will end up getting the best of him, and Yoshi will end up paying the price for it. No wonder they decided to tie him to a pole in Yoshi's story. It was a safety measure! Grinders, however, are anything but Yoshi's allies. They are playful monkeys that hang out in the jungle and cause all sorts of mayhem, ranging from throwing needle noses and bombs to spitting out seeds, to even attempting to capture baby Mario. And trust me, they're quite good at that last one. The Grinders are easily some of the most annoying enemies seen in Yoshi's Island. Thankfully, they're only in one world. Ukiki, the small monkey that's seen on Tall Tall Mountain in Super Mario 64, bears a passing resemblance to the Grinder. Hey, Ukiki is quite adept at stealing Mario's hat, so maybe he is one of them. Grinder also happens to be the same name of a Super Mario World enemy. Specifically, the giant buzzsaws! I mean, I probably wouldn't doubt the effectiveness of a bunch of rabbit monkeys being as good as a giant buzzsaw, but I'm probably missing something here. This match is getting a little close. Hurry up! Why don't you turn the tables already? Down, boy! We're gonna have to housebreak you if you're gonna be fighting for the side of good again. While Yoshi does a dog dance, Theana has come to her senses. You are doing well, Lip. Just think of the reward you will receive when this is over. You shall receive the greatest riches and jewelry the land has to offer. Defending Stage 4 is Ruby, the Fairy of Jewels. What the hell kind of fairy is a guardian of jewels? Anyway, Ruby is fascinated by anything that has to do with jewelry, and as such has a big responsibility when it comes to caring for them. Of course, she has a similar responsibility when it comes to her friends. There are even rumors going around that Ruby just might be the leader of Lip's friends. But like how will Lip ever say the same thing about that? In the GameCube version, Ruby has a daughter named Pure. See, look at that! Lip is already exerting her authority as the main character. She isn't gonna let the Fairy of Jewels one-up her. Who the hell is a Fairy of Jewelry? Next thing you know, there's gonna be like a Fairy of Boxes or something. Oh, well how about this one? Say there are like two water fairies. One's Fairy of the Water and one is like Fairy of the Sea or something. Yeah, real great there.
Rampage.
I think Lip has had enough of this sort of silliness as much as I have. Just going to tell you this right now, Ruby, diamonds are not forever. As Lip and Ruby do battle, Poochie's dog powers are now unleashed. Fair dues to all, but things are now starting to get a bit wild. Don't lose your head, Yoshi! You've noticed by now that Stage 4 looks entirely different than its panel-to-pawn counterpart. Well, there's not really an enemy in Yoshi's Island. Hell, a Mario enemy in general, up to this point in time, that matches Ruby's jewel motif. So the localization team considered this stage a free spot. As such, they turned it into the Wildflower stage, and Stage 4's new opponents are Flying Wiggler and the Eggo-Dill. The Flying Wiggler is actually quite a rare variety of the Wiggler. Wigglers themselves being rather docile caterpillars that just hang around in forests and wildflower fields. They're laid back and carefree as all get out. Well, until you step on them. All sense of reason is lost once you step on them. They turn red and go absolutely berserk. The Flying Wiggler is no exception. They'll also fly into a tizzy the moment Yoshi steps on them. Pretty much every Wiggler is considered to be female, so that's a thing. Accompanying Flying Wiggler is the Eggo-Dill, a pretty happy-looking daffodil that shoots out its flower petals at Yoshi, who in turn can eat the flower petals, then convert them into eggs for ammo. Should Yoshi ground pound near an Eggo-Dill, they'll they'll automatically lose all of their petals and just shrink down to nothing. This only lasts for a few seconds though. They'll get right back up after some time. Though Yoshi can simply repeat the process, Eggodills are pretty much invincible. Though I wonder if they'll be able to survive Yoshi's manly chain. That was a pretty good effort right there. I think the localization team did a pretty good move in changing Ruby's stage into a wildflower stage. At the very least, they didn't have to change Ruby's theme. It actually fits quite well given the new circumstances. Also, bit of a random trivia note, but I think the Flying Wiggler has only appeared in, like, one stage in the entirety of Yoshi's Island, and I think that one was the first level of World 4, Go Go Mario. To wit, it's the level in which you spend the last third of the stage running around as an invincible baby Mario. Flying Wigglers are seen at the very end of the level. If they are on another level, then it's probably 4-3. Don't look back. It might be the last area of that level, too. Seems that Yoshi is laying it on quite thick. Flying Wiggler is just no match for Yoshi's mad skills. We're out of time for now, so I'll see you guys next time.